All right, guys. For starters, I would like to say congratulations to the members of gillyShark as you take yourselves a 2-0 victory. And with me, I have a Jinxie Cat.
Hi there.
So, once again, congratulations. And how do you guys feel after that series?
Thank you so much. We're feeling great. Those are two of the cleanest games we've played in a really long time. Our last two games were a really rough series. But we're feeling pretty good.
Yeah, I definitely can agree with especially your last game. It looked really clean. I mean, 11-4, some a great draft that is a little unusual, but very well executed by your team. And maybe other teams will try and steal that draft because it's definitely a nice change on kind of like the Genji Lane Main combo.
Yeah. We kind of took some advice from Wubby, who did an interview earlier today, and he basically said, when you make the meta, other teams are always adjusting to your play styles. So if they want to steal that, we welcome it because we know how to beat it.
That's kind of scary then. Essentially, you've already told people, well, you might see this, and if you try to like take it from us, well, we'll just beat you anyways.
Yeah, I mean, we're very confident, and I think most of that goes over to our drafter, our shot caller, our MVP, Stark. He is insane. He knows more about the game than anyone I know, and it's basically just, "Hey guys, I think I can make Gazlo work here," and we're like, it's gotten to the point where we're like, "Okay, let's see what you can do." We don't even question it anymore. He said, "I think I'm feeling Zarya," and we said, "All right, let's bring Zarya into an NGS game."
Yeah, I mean, if you guys were listening or go back, I was like, I don't know how I feel about this Zarya. Like, Zarya is basically never played. I'm not sure like what's going to happen, but Stark's Zarya usage was probably one of the best I've seen. I mean, we're talking about healing or shielding numbers that were was rivaling healing numbers. I don't know how often you see that from any Zaryas or anyone who plays anyone who can shield.
Yeah, he's great. We're very thankful to have him. We sometimes like to joke. We say that Chymotrypsin is our secondary support because Stark's just pulling out these insane numbers on his Zarya, and then last week we had Kagekiri playing the solo support Abathur.
Mhm.
I have a very good team, and I think that's what makes us so strong. We're good friends. We play together lots, and we're willing to trust each other, and that's what makes the team so great.
Yeah, that definitely does help. I mean, it's one of those issues. I feel you get random people together, learning to understand shot calls and respond to shot calls without second guessing the shot calls is very hard, especially when you get a bunch of opinionated people on how to play a game. And this is not, like baby's first MOBA. This is Division B. So like this is a lot of competition who have a range of players. And Stitches Be Crazy was sitting at number 3. So like yeah, this isn't a game where you guys were playing against the lowest team in the standings. This is a team that you execute against that is really high up in the standings.
Yeah, I actually didn't know that. We go into every game like, this is what we know about the team. This is what we've seen.
Mhm.
What is our game? What do we play to combo that? How do we beat that? And you're right, it's a lot of hard work. We're friends who've been playing together for quite some time. I think myself, Kaimo Tripson, and Stark, we've been friends for nearly 2 years now. We all met through Gillyweed, and I'm not gonna lie, we come to blows. It took a long time for us to trust shot calling. There are days in draft where we're like, I think this is better, and there are games where we end
Mhm.
the night and we're just like, GG, good night. But I think it's a big family. That's what makes it great. Like I keep saying, and I think that's the strength of Gilly Shark is just the trust we have in another one another, the friendship that we have, and that now that we've finally learned that Stark knows a little bit about what he's talking about, Brad knows a little bit about what he's talking about, or sorry, chymotrypsin.
Yeah, it's definitely, like I said, it's definitely a hurdle. Once you get over that hurdle, it becomes like an entirely different team, as it seems like you guys kind of have. Of course, there's going to be nights I'm sure you guys have had in even the recent where you're like, oh, I don't think that worked for us, and that's where you just learn and grow as a team. Like maybe yeah, maybe it was a little too wild that draft, or maybe we just didn't execute the draft, and you may come back from those mistakes and you come back even better next time around.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we ran our zero till draft on Infernal Shrines last time. We just came up short. We take those days and we say, okay, what could we have done better in this game? And we improve.
So, how are you guys feeling about the rest of the season? You're now 8-6, getting the domination, which uh, at this point in time, based on what I'm seeing, bolsters you up to sixth place and putting you in terms of actual wins. You're now tied exactly with Stitches Be Crazy, just below the blue team Heroes of the U.S. in 1+1 equal pain. Once they complete their series, it'll switch up there since they need to complete but in terms of wins, you guys are now matched up with some of the top teams in the standings. You guys,
Uh,
do you guys have big aspirations for the playoffs? Like, do you think you can take it home?
Last season, we went all the way to the finals and we just fell short to HOTUS. And so I think that's the goal. We'd love to do that, but when we got together, I said we were just 5 people who watched Gilly stream together, and we said, "Let's make a team and see how far we can get." So, the number one goal has always been to have fun with friends.
Mhm.
I think it's a little higher. We would like to get back to the playoffs. We'd like our rematch against Heroes of the United States. But as for the season, we're excited. We think it looks great. We're ready to take the playoffs should we get to that stage.
So, who does the shot calling for you guys? Is it Stark for both drafting and shot calling, or is it kind of like drafting is mostly one person and shot calling is a little bit of input from everyone?
Stark does most of our drafting. It's been a combination. We have certain drafts that we like that we over the seasons, over everything we've played, we're like, okay, we like this hero, and this hero. And then sometimes, a draft doesn't work out and someone will speak up and say, well, I like maybe Johanna here as opposed to Diablo because of X, Y, and Z reason. And then we try that, and that kind of becomes the draft. But he usually gives us the backbone.
Mhm.
And then same with shot calling. He'll say when to, go get a boss, when to get a camp, when to give the objective. But at the same time, there's also, if Stark wants to be quiet, then myself as the tank player can come up and say, let's take this camp or let's give this objective. Or Kagekiri, who plays DPS for us, will sometimes say, let's do this instead. So Stark doesn't always need to shot call. We agree as a team, but for the most part, it's kind of his word is the final say. Someone may say go for a camp, and we say no, and then we follow what Stark says.
That seems like it's working out for you guys. And now, how do you feel overall about game one? Since it felt like it was a roller coaster, did you guys still feel like you played the game as well as you thought you should have? Are there things you want to go back in review? Are there just like thinking about maybe a few draft changes, or were you guys overall happy with the performance of game one?
Early game was a little bit rocky. There are a couple of things we'd look over and say, maybe we shouldn't have done that. There was a big team fight, I'm sure you saw, where most of our team got wiped. There was a curse that was thrown on us. So those are things we'd like to change. But overall, we're very happy with how we played. It's one of our cleaner games. Abathur was banned now, and he's a huge part of our success on that map. But I mean, if we had to go back and do it again, I would do it the exact same way.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, so I'd like to give you the opportunity to have any shout outs before we go.
I would definitely just shout out Stitches Be Crazy. We had a little bit of technical difficulty. We started about an hour afterwards. So thank you very much for being patient with us and allowing us to play. Uh, Shout out to you for starting an hour earlier or later.
No
That was
problem.
difficult. I'm sure ruining everybody's days. Always shout out to Gilly because she's wonderful. We love her. We all aspire to be her. Shout out to my team. They're great. To Chess Looter, who couldn't be here tonight, is with us in spirit. Yeah, everyone at NGS. If there's anybody I'm missing, I'm so sorry. That's all I think I have right now. I love the team. I love Gilly. Our opponents were awesome. Our streamers are awesome.
Yeah, if that's all, thank you so much for the interview, and best of luck for the rest of the season, and maybe even the playoffs if I don't get another chance to cast you guys.
Thank you so much. Have a good rest of your evening.
You too. All right, guys, that was gillyShark, and that was a Jinxie Cat who was in the interview. So we saw gillyShark take the 2-0. First game, a little bit of a roller coaster. Second game, really clean, interesting draft with the Zeratul and the Genji. Now, you don't see too many teams that allow Genji through, but then the combination of a Zeratul on top of that was really spicy and definitely worked out for him. I think Stitches Be Crazy could have theoretically taken that game if they were a lot faster with actually targeting their Zeratul or the Genji in those team fights, getting down the CC they need. The problem is that it was still extremely hard for them to deal with the Void Prison. So all of their potential win conditions, I feel like, was on the back of picking someone off after a VP if it was unsuccessful, or prior to a VP coming off cooldown. Unfortunately, it never happened for him, resulting in the loss. First game, I think there was both teams executed generally well. I think there's things for both teams to definitely review in game number one, and both teams could then potentially have, you know, flipped on how the game performed, in that they may have actually walked away with a much cleaner game on the side of gillyShark, or Stitches Be Crazy may have been able to pull the rug out from under gillyShark and walk away with the win. So that's going to be it for me tonight. Thank you, everyone who's been hanging out with me. I'm once again sorry about that delay. And then the secondary delay when I was stuck in an unranked game. Although technically I could have quit on it. No penalties in unranked, but it wouldn't have been, very nice to my teammates. So thanks again, everyone who's been watching. I'm going to kick you on over to Ripper, who is casting a Storm Division game, Diplomunion Gaming, and Abusement Park, or DG, and Wheelchair or Handicap. I'm not sure if they're a DG Handicap or DG Wheelchair, because it's literally a handicap icon. But before we go, I'm going to throw up the highlights for the past game and then kick you on over. And once again, I am Akama. You should see that down there. You can also follow me on Twitter, and you can also check out my VODs for other series. And if they're not always going to be up to date 100% the time. Like right now, your best bet, if you're going to want to see them on YouTube, is wait a week or so before I toss them on YouTube. But you can always go to the Twitch VODs to see them immediately for the past broadcasts. And Twitter is normally where I shoot out my notifications for matches that I will be shoutcasting. So if you enjoyed this shoutcast, give me a follow, give me a subscribe, or even better, come back to watch me cast again, because that's why I cast, not for the follows, not for subscriptions. Although, bling bling is always nice, but really it'd be nice to have a significantly more than one emote in the tier 1 slot. that's probably the biggest reason for caring about subscribers. But for me, I want you guys to come to watch me cast and hopefully enjoy my cast. If I'm not making you enjoy my cast, please let me know what you would like to see me do to make your viewing experience better. If you are enjoying my cast, let me know. It's probably one of the best things in the world to hear people tell you, I loved your cast and I thought your cast was XYZ. I've gotten comments like that, and it really, really is the difference maker for grinding out casting 4 days a week and potentially up to 4 hours. 4 hours? Three times 1.5, up to 4.5 hours of casting. So thanks again, everyone, and hope you enjoy the series and enjoy the rest of your evening.